Thanks for staying with us. In the recent past, the Kwa-Zulu Natal ANC had been known to put aside ideological and factional differences in order to mobilize support for the governing party ahead of the elections. But this time around, as the party's eyes are fixed on the local government elections, divisions are such that the movement appears to be failing to mobilize its members to do door-to-door, face-to-face and late-night bidding. The cause of these divisions range from the incarceration of the former President Jacob Zuma, the mayhem across Kwa-Zulu Natal, and the selection of some councillor candidates for the upcoming municipal elections. Former KZN Premier Willies Mchunu joins us to talk more on the state of the governing party in Kwa-Zulu Natal. Matangwan, thank you so much for your time this evening. As we speak tonight, we've seen a ruling by the Constitutional Court that has dismissed the application then to postpone the elections to next year. And others are saying, you know, that this might be just a window for the ANC, that it needs to then be able to put some of the candidates that may not have been put through, especially when you look at the amendment of the voter registration. You know, when you look at that particular list, it does look like maybe the ANC may have time. But when you look at what is going on the ground with the ruling party, and especially in Kwa-Zulu Natal, it does look like it's difficult times.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should just say in Kwa-Zulu Natal. It is a difficult time right through the country, and it's also not peculiar to the ANC. At some stage, other parties have had a similar situation as well within them. Yes, for now it is affecting the ANC, and but I think the ANC has overcome that in the main. I think the main problem that affected the processes was more on the processes of the ANC to select candidates. That would be the main problem area, which at some stage certainly needs to be addressed.
And how do they overcome this, Matangwana? Because even now as we speak, in that province, over 200 disputes over some of the names that have been put forward. But this is not a new picture. It's almost as predictable that each time there's an election, we're going to find ourselves here.
No, I don't think each time we have an election, we'll find ourselves here. As I did say in 2016, we do have a party that was unable to register. So it's nothing new. And that party is still there. It's still surviving even now. The ANC has registered in many wards and in many municipalities. So it's not like it's all doom and gloom. But obviously, yes, it will affect the party. No party would love to not participate in elections right through, especially a party like the ANC that has done so from the beginning of the democratic process, both for the provincial and national, as well as for local government elections. So the party has always contested elections right across.
So you don't think that they are handing over some ground to the IFP here?
Well, it does depend. It does depend because in some municipalities, the IFP in any case was the ruling party there. If you think of the Zululand municipalities, the IFP has been a party to govern obviously except Edumbe and Upongol. Those are the main municipalities where we are going to run into a bit of a problem. But in other municipalities, I don't see us running into those problems. For instance, although in the Kwa-Zulu municipality area, in Mandini, we have made our own challenges by not concluding, but it's not a given that the IFP is going to take over those municipalities. It's totally not a given. There are wards that have been registered in the ANC, and the ANC will have to make do maybe with a reduced support. There are municipalities like Umzinyati, Emutu. Those municipalities are in any case in the hands of the IFP. So I don't think there will be anything new. Although, of course, we wanted to contest those municipalities and we wanted to contest the IFP, and we want to do that on an ongoing basis because that's the nature of politics. You don't want to not contest those who are governing. But unfortunately, that's going to be the case now. As I say, it's not going to be a given that in all municipalities the ANC is now threatened.
One of the things that, has also divided that particular province is the incarceration of former President Jacob Zuma. You've got branches in Herigwala saying that they're not going to vote with the ANC because of this particular development. And others can say that in 2009, it is only Kwa-Zulu Natal where the ANC made some gains and said that this was because of, and some say this was because of the Zuma factor. How much then of this factor is going to be at play when we then are looking to the local government elections?
Well, first and foremost, let us address the issue of those whose sentiments are about the incarceration of President Zuma. I don't think that the ANC will just leave it like that. I'm sure the ANC will find a way of engaging with those comrades, just like when it's now finished all its elections processes. They have to be engaged, and hopefully they will change their minds, because I don't think President Zuma would really have wanted the ANC to not win. That wouldn't be his position. Because if the ANC doesn't win, there are implications for even in the future. So it's a matter that needs to be discussed with those comrades who have those sentiments. But they are widespread. They are not just located at Ekwala. They are widespread. There has been that sentiment. It's just a matter of how we deal with them. On the issue of whether President Zuma could be a factor, or based on the fact that, yes, in 2009, we all accept and acknowledge that he played a major role in causing the party to gain more support in Kwa-Zulu Natal because of his knowledge of the province, his relations with the culture and other activities of the province. And therefore, in that manner, he did get support. You will notice that even when President Zuma was not yet incarcerated but had been sentenced, he had support right across it did not matter whether that support came from the ANC only. He had support from Amabuto, and Amabuto are a structure that is not apolitical, but it's a structure also that does not include one political party. It's just a structure of the Zulu nation. And President Zuma was part of that. So he played a major role in that. Even now, if we were to come out, he would play a major role. But obviously, there will be some effects, although I hope and I do not think that it will be very overwhelming. And I hope that it won't be overwhelming in the sense that, yes, individual leaders of the ANC make their own contributions, but at the end of the day, it is the ANC that contests elections, and it is the ANC that must either win or lose. That's the policy that many people must understand.
Macengwana, forgive me for doing this. I'm going to ask you just to pause. I just have two more questions that we'll take on the other side of this. In our conversation with former Premier of Kwa-Zulu Natal, KZN Willies Mchunu. Macengwana, as we wrap up then, some have called for the former president to receive a presidential pardon. Where do you stand on that issue?
Well, it is a matter, it's just one of the options that could be there to the president. But importantly, the issue is about all the matters that have been raised in respect of the president. It's just unbelievable that a person as aged as the president or the former president is currently incarcerated. And, you know, it beats many people who are right thinking why that was necessary that he be incarcerated. Couldn't there be punishment that is different to what is being said? So I stand fully behind those who say something better could have been done, whether it is the presidential pardon or anything else that could make sure that even though the president is found guilty, but sentencing is considerate of all of